When people get a job and can earn an income, they can go and live where they can afford to live.
That's why Cape Town is segregated, because it is made difficult for people who are from Gugulethu and Langa and Khayelitsha to then move into the suburbs. You can't tell me Cape Town is not segregated with a flat face.
There's this narrative that if Helen Zille becomes mayor of Joburg, she will fix it just like the DA fixed Cape Town. So this begs the question, is Cape Town a success story? So today we're cutting through the political spin around the DA so-called success story. Should this Cape Town model scare Joburg residents or excite them? The DA's favorite line is, look at Cape Town, we govern better. Even our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, admitted to this. Although a lot of people in his party were angry at him, he admitted that the DA is doing way better than the ANC when it comes to local governance. Well, to be honest, I think any political party could govern better than the ANC. Well, that's a joke. I'm half kidding. Anyway, this success is mainly measured by clean streets, good services, etc. But I want you to keep this in mind. South Africa is the most unequal country in the world, but we have the best economy in Africa. So this begs the question, with this economic gap, who is this economy benefiting? Yes, according to whatever standard, we're doing better than all other countries in Africa. But who is this economy benefiting? Are we necessarily doing better if majority of the people in this economy are in poverty? Now, moving on. Cape Town is the most unequal city in South Africa. What this means is, when you zoom out, you have extremely wealthy people and extremely poor people. And then when you zoom into Cape Town, the same story applies. So it becomes really difficult to measure success in that kind of economy, because you can't measure success only by clean streets and good services in wealthy suburbs and forget about the other areas where majority of South Africans are. So Cape Town has the highest concentration of billionaires in Africa. At the same time, 40% of households in Cape Town depend on state support. Again, this speaks to that system which South African scholars have called the two-tier system. In Gauteng, for example, you have Sandton this side, then on the other side of the road you have Alexandra, right? So the wealthy minority are thriving. They have everything figured out. They are receiving good services. I don't think it's that difficult really to even take care of the rich. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. So that's who this kind of economy caters for, the wealthy minority. And the majority in townships like Khayelitsha, Nyanga are stuck in poverty. To me, that's not good governance. That's selective upliftment. If you're failing to uplift the poor and you're judging your governance based on what you're doing for the rich, I don't think you should be confidently saying that you are doing very well, particularly in a country with a history of inequality. If we look at safety, Cape Town CBD, Sea Point, Atlantic Seaboard are safer, clean and efficient. But if you look at Khayelitsha, Nyanga, Gugulethu, they are amongst the most dangerous communities in South Africa, if not in the world. High crime rate overlaps with inequality. So is Cape Town safe, or is it safer if you are privileged? As part of a campaign for Joburg mayorship, Helen Zille had an interview with Anel and others. Anel posed a question about inequality, and I think she also asked about corruption in the DA. Instead of tackling these issues and answering those important questions, she went off on Anele.
I bet I did more to fight apartheid than everybody sitting in the studio today.
And so did
I
the people that
absolutely
are now
did.
currently running it into the ground as well.
This is the same tactic that ANC comrades use when we question them about allegations of state looting and corruption. They always remind us that they were exiled. I'm mentioning all this to say that the DA doesn't seem to acknowledge that inequality exists in Cape Town. And this is something that should be discussed and dealt with. They're not even ready to talk about it, even though it exists. The interviews that Helen Zille has been doing set a tone for where the DA is standing in many matters. So the International Court of Justice made a ruling that there is genocide in Gaza. They obviously made this ruling after they had investigated, taken into account the set of facts which were presented, and gathered all evidence they needed to come to this conclusion. But the DA still refuses to acknowledge that there is genocide in Gaza. They still refuse to acknowledge that there are kids being murdered, literally, in Gaza.
Do you believe a genocide is taking place in Gaza?
Well, genocide is a very big word. I haven't been to Gaza and I don't know.
I'll ask you this question again, but differently this time. This week, a UN Commission of Inquiry has found that indeed a genocide has been committed in Gaza. So I ask you again, does the Democratic Alliance believe that a genocide has taken place in Gaza?
The Democratic Alliance has not discussed that particular issue.
Simply because they just want to align with the Western powers. So they do not even care about morality when they want to appease the West or when they want to please the USA. Actually, I can't even say the West right now because many countries in the West have acknowledged Palestine as a sovereign nation. So they just want to please the USA really. Now, I mentioned all that to say that I respect their consistency. I like their consistency. They are consistent on appealing to the elites. They seem to be a party for those who are thriving. They're not fighting people's struggles. They're not ready for that burden. I respect that consistency. We see it even in their foreign policy. So Cape Town is not a miracle. It's a mirror of South Africa's inequality. The DA should stop confusing privilege with progress. Inequality and success isn't the same thing. So here's my prediction. If Helen Zille is to become mayor of Joburg, wealthy areas in Joburg will become cleaner, safer, and more efficient, while townships and marginalized communities will be neglected. So Joburg will become a city that works for a few, not everyone. And by everyone, I mean the marginalized groups. Now, I want to know what you think. Is the DA's Western Cape a success or just good PR? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd like to hear your take. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Actually, let me pause and wait for you to subscribe. Yeah, it's here. Cool. See you on the next one.